We've long known that the diets of mothers-to-be has an effect on their offspring, but now dads are in the firing line. That's the subject of a PhD study by Dr. Sheau-Fang, who's with me now. Dr. Sheau-Fang, this has been published in a very prestigious journal, Nature. What did you find?
Thank you, Susie. We found that female offspring of fathers eating high-fat diet have increased risk of diabetes compared to offspring of normal fathers. And this is because they are not able to produce enough insulin, which is an important hormone to handle our blood glucose to make sure it is in a normal level. So these offspring is not able to produce enough insulin to maintain their blood glucose in a normal level. So that puts them at increased risk of getting diabetes.
Did you just look at girls, or does it affect boys as well? Or?
Yeah, in this study we only look at the girls. From the literature, human literature, it shows that many of them actually shows that daughters are closely linked to their father in terms of their metabolic profile, and but we are not excluding the possibility of boys being affected here. It's just that there are more evidence showing that girls are more affected. And then on top of that, we also did a preliminary study in our lab before we embark on the real experiment, and that shows the same thing, that the girls are more affected. And recently also, from the human obesity gene map, it shows that genes that are related, they are linked to body mass index, is actually found on the X chromosome and on the autosome, and not on the Y chromosome. And it's the boys that the Y chromosome is a chromosome that is in the boys, and it's not there. The genes that related to obesity is not found in the Y chromosome.
I'm interested in what you said about girls being more similar to their fathers in their metabolic processes. Can you explain that? That doesn't mean that girls are more likely to look like their fathers, does it?
From the existing human evidence, it shows that obese father tends to have sons and daughters who are obese, but there are some people actually say that fathers who are insulin resistant, so their increased risk of diabetes, their daughters are also having similar outcome and other diseases which is related to insulin resistance, so such as polycystic ovarian disease. So there are a few papers actually show that the girls are actually having the similar metabolic risk like the fathers.
Now, you did this study in rats in the lab. How similar are the findings in humans?
Using a rat model to study parents' diet has been an established experiment worldwide. So taking the context of mother's diet, and a lot of study has been done on mother's diet in mice and as well as rats. And the findings are similar to findings in humans. So we are now making a change of switching our investigation towards fathers.
It seems so obvious now to look at dads' diets and the effect on offspring. Why did it take so long to get to this point?
There are many studies have been looking at other effects of environmental toxin on the fathers, but up to today, no one has actually studied the effect of father's diet. So back in the clinic, I observed that the fathers, when an obese child came in to the clinic, it's usually not just their mother, but their father. Both their parents are obese. So as the effect of the effect of mother's diet has been widely studied in our lab, so my supervisor and I decided to explore this new area by using an animal model.
So does that mean that would-be dads should watch their diet very carefully in the lead up to the months before conception?
I would think so, but I'm not sure. It remains a question whether a few months before conception would help, or they have to start a healthy diet from a long time, from young. The environment that produces sperm is equally important. Although in human, the process of producing sperm takes about 3 months, but the environment that sets up the sperm production is equally important. So by changing the diet a few months ahead, before that, I don't think it will reverse everything to improve the outcome.
So in the study that you did for your PhD, you were looking at the female offspring with your supervisor, Professor Margaret Morris. Does that now mean that you'll switch your attention to looking at the sons of these obese males?
Yeah, that would be our next approach, because we could not answer that question previously, so we are now looking into the effect on sons as well as other metabolic outcome in the offspring.
That's a fascinating study. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Susie.